How to practice speaking English with your teacher. The mysterious secret to English confidence. Have you ever wondered why some people speak English so fluently while others struggle? Is it because they are smarter? No. Is it because they practice more? Maybe. But there's something bigger. Let me tell you a secret. It's a suspenseful secret, hidden right in your classroom, and it has nothing to do with books or homework. Imagine this. You're sitting in class, the teacher calls on you, and suddenly, all eyes are on you. Your heart pounds like a drum. Your hands feel cold. What do you say? What if you mess up? Sounds familiar? What if I told you that this very moment holds the key to becoming a confident English speaker? Yes, it's true. But hold on, don't skip ahead. This journey is about to get twisty, funny, and absolutely worth it. Step 1. Why speaking English feels hard, and why it's not. Why is speaking English so scary? Is it the words, the grammar, the fear of making mistakes? The truth is, it's none of these. Let me ask you this. Do you feel scared when you talk to your friends in your native language? No, right? So why should English be any different? Here's the twist. Speaking English isn't about being perfect. It's about being brave. The first step is to stop being afraid of mistakes. Did you know even your English teacher makes mistakes sometimes? Yes, really. And guess what? They still speak confidently. Now let's start with a little exercise. Next time you feel nervous, take a deep breath and say something simple. For example, say, "Hi, how are you?" to your teacher. It's not about being perfect. It's about starting. Starting is the real fun. Oops. I mean real trick. Step 2. The power of your English teacher. Your English teacher is not just someone who teaches grammar. They are your secret weapon. Think about it. Who else in the world will patiently listen to you, correct you, and encourage you to try again? But here's a funny question. How many of you actually talk to your English teacher? Let me guess. You only answer when asked, right? That's where most kids go wrong. Your teacher is like a treasure chest of knowledge, but you have to unlock it. How? By speaking to them, of course. Try this. After class, go up to your teacher and ask them a small question in English. Something simple like, "Can you help me with this word?" You'll be surprised at how much they love helping you. Teachers love it when kids take the first step. It makes their day. Step 3. The funny side of practicing English. Here's a funny twist. Practicing English doesn't have to be boring. In fact, it can be hilarious. Imagine trying to describe a giraffe without using the word tall, or explaining what a pizza tastes like without saying delicious. These little challenges can make learning English super fun. Want another idea? Play a game with your friends called Guess What I'm Saying. Here's how it works. You pick a word, and instead of saying it, you describe it in English. For example, instead of saying apple, you might say, "It's red, round, and you can eat it." The first person to guess the word wins. Now here's where your English teacher comes in. Ask them to join the game during break time. Teachers love games, and it's a great way to practice speaking without feeling nervous. Step 4. The suspenseful trick. Talking to yourself. Here's a secret trick that even your teacher might not know. Ready? Talk to yourself. Yes, you heard me. Talking to yourself in English is one of the best ways to improve. Now, before you laugh, let me explain. When you talk to yourself, there's no one to judge you. You can practice as much as you want, try new words, and even make mistakes without anyone knowing. Here's how to do it. Every morning, stand in front of a mirror and say, "Good morning. Today, I will practice English." Then, describe your day. For example, I have math class at 9 a.m. Then, I will play football with my friends. Want to make it funny? Pretend you're a TV news reporter. Say things like, "Breaking news. I just ate the best sandwich in the world." Your family might laugh, but guess what? You're practicing English, and that's all that matters. Step 5. The big twist. Facing your fears. Now comes the most suspenseful part of all, facing your fears. What's the one thing you're most scared of when speaking English? Is it making mistakes? Is it speaking in front of the whole class? Let me tell you a story. Once, there was a girl named Emily. She was terrified of speaking English. One day, her teacher asked her to read a paragraph aloud in class. Emily wanted to disappear, but instead, she took a deep breath, smiled, and started reading. Was it perfect? Number. Did she make mistakes? Yes. But guess what? Everyone clapped for her because she tried. The twist is, fear only disappears when you face it. So, next time you're scared, remember Emily. Take a deep breath, smile, and speak. You'll feel amazing afterward, I promise. Step 6. The final mystery. How to make English your best friend. Here's the final twist. Speaking English isn't just about learning words and sentences. It's about connecting with people. When you speak English, you can talk to friends from different countries, understand movies and songs, and even help others. Imagine this. One day, you're at the airport, and someone asks you for directions in English. You confidently say, "The restroom is on the left." That small moment will make you feel like a superhero. Want to know the moral of this article? It's simple. Speaking English is not about being perfect. It's about trying, laughing at your mistakes, and enjoying the journey. Your English teacher is your guide, but you are the hero of your story. Conclusion. Unlocking the suspenseful secret. So, what's the big secret to speaking English confidently? Here it is. Speak, laugh, and never give up. Use every chance to talk to your teacher, your friends, and even yourself. Remember, every word you speak brings you closer to becoming a fluent English speaker. And here's the final twist. The journey never ends. Even the best speakers keep learning. So, are you ready to start your adventure? The next time your teacher says, "Who wants to answer?" raise your hand, smile, and speak. Your journey to English confidence begins now. Shadowing technique for better pronunciation. The whisper in the library. Have you ever been in a quiet room where someone's voice seemed to float in the air? A place where a soft whisper turns into a powerful sound, carrying words that are perfect and clear? Well, let me take you to such a place. A mysterious library in the heart of a bustling city. Picture this. A young girl named Emily sat in the corner of an ancient library. The room was filled with thick books, dusty shelves, and a strange, almost electric hum in the air. Emily had one goal, to master speaking English fluently. Her teacher had mentioned a method called the shadowing technique, but what was it? And why did it sound like something secret and powerful? Just as she opened a book labeled The Secret to Perfect Pronunciation, a sudden gust of wind flipped the pages wildly. Emily gasped, but something unusual caught her eye, a sentence underlined in bold red ink. The way to master English pronunciation lies in copying the shadows of sound, Emily whispered. What does that even mean? And that's where the adventure began. An adventure that you, my young reader, are about to embark on. By the end of this article, You'll not only learn how to pronounce words like a pro, but also uncover the suspenseful twist hidden in the shadowing technique itself. What is shadowing? Now let's take a step back. Shadowing is a special technique used by people who want to improve their pronunciation. It's not complicated, but it works like magic. Like something really cool. Think about how shadows follow you everywhere you go. When you walk, your shadow walks. When you jump, it jumps too. Similarly, the shadowing technique is about following someone's voice as closely as possible. Here's how it works. 1. Listen. You find a video, song, or audio clip of someone speaking English clearly. 2. Repeat immediately. As soon as you hear a word, repeat it out loud without stopping to think. 3. Match the tone. Try to copy the way they say it, their rhythm, emotion, and even their pauses. Sounds simple, right? But there's a twist. You must practice this technique in a way that feels fun, exciting, and full of surprises. The fun part, turning practice into play. If shadowing sounds boring to you, let me change your mind. Imagine this: voice acting adventures. Pretend you're a famous movie star delivering a powerful speech. Say each word with excitement and energy. Tongue twister challenges. Practice tricky phrases like, "She sells seashells by the seashore," to sharpen your pronunciation. But wait, there's more. What if I told you that you could turn this practice into a game? Grab a friend or family member and see who can shadow better. Make it a competition. Why does shadowing work so well? Here's the science behind it, kids. 1. Muscle memory. Your tongue, lips, and vocal cords need practice, just like playing sports. Shadowing helps them remember how to say words. 2. Listening skills. By focusing on someone else's voice, you train your ears to hear subtle differences in pronunciation. 3. Confidence boost. Repeating words out loud makes you less afraid of making mistakes. Now, doesn't that sound awesome? Suspenseful challenge. Can you outshadow the master? Let's make things even more thrilling. Somewhere in this article, I've hidden a secret phrase. When you find it, try shadowing it perfectly. If you can say it exactly as I've written, you'll unlock the power of the shadowing technique. The phrase is, "The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy cat." Did you notice? No dogs allowed. The big twist: why shadows can lead to light. By now, you've practiced shadowing, had some fun, and maybe even outshadowed your friends. But here's the real twist. Shadowing isn't just about pronunciation. It's about finding your own voice. When you copy someone else's way of speaking, you're learning how to express yourself clearly and confidently. Over time, you'll notice that you're not just following the shadow anymore. You've become the light that others want to follow. And that, dear friends, is the real secret of the shadowing technique. It's not just about speaking better, it's about becoming better. Better at communicating, better at understanding, and better at being you. A moral to remember. The story of shadowing teaches us an important lesson. Every great speaker started as a great listener. By listening carefully and practicing with passion, you can master anything. Not just English pronunciation, but any skill you dream of. So, my young adventurers, are you ready to start shadowing your way to greatness? Grab your headphones, pick your favorite audio, and let your voice shine. Remember, every word you speak is a step toward becoming your best self. And as Emily whispered in that mysterious library, the shadows aren't scary. They're just waiting for you to light them up.
How to improve your American English accent in 5 days. Day 1, a challenge to begin with. Imagine someone asking, can you really improve your American English accent in just 5 days? The answer might surprise you. Most people believe mastering an accent takes months or even years. But what if you've been looking at it all wrong? Maybe it's not about how long you practice, but how you practice. So here's the first twist. Forget everything you think you know about learning accents. Day 1 isn't about saying words. It's about listening. Yes, you read that right. Before you speak a single word, your ears need training. Spend this day immersing yourself in American English. Watch movies, listen to podcasts, or tune into your favorite American songs. Close your eyes and pay attention to how words are spoken, the rhythm, the tone, and even the pauses. Now, here's a funny tip. Mimic the sounds, even if they don't make sense at first. If someone says, "Hey, what's up?" you say it back with the same energy. Pretend you're an actor rehearsing a role. Don't worry if it feels awkward. This is how the fun begins. Day 2. Master the basics, vowels and rhythm. Welcome to the foundation of the American accent, vowels and rhythm. Did you know Americans stretch their vowels like they're pulling taffy? Words like car and park aren't just said, they're felt. Try saying car like you're singing a note. Go ahead, hold it out. Car. Feels strange? Good. That's progress. Now let's talk rhythm. American English has a unique up and down pattern. Say this sentence, I can't believe it. Notice how your voice rises and falls? Practice this with a mirror. Add some dramatic expressions. Raise your eyebrows, widen your eyes, and make it fun. Trust me, this isn't just practice, it's entertainment. Here's a secret twist. Record yourself speaking. It might feel scary at first, but it's the best way to catch small mistakes. And hey, don't forget to laugh at yourself when you sound funny. It's all part of the process. Day 3. The power of pronunciation. Ready for a shocking truth? The way you move your mouth changes everything. Americans use their tongue and lips differently, which is why their accent sounds smooth. Want to test this? Try saying water. Many people say it as water, but in American English, it's wader. See the difference? Here's another fun challenge. The R sound. Americans love their R's. They're bold and strong. Say red like you're growling a little. Red. Practice this in front of a mirror, and don't be shy about exaggerating. The bigger your effort, the quicker you'll get it. Twist alert. Practice tongue twisters like red lorry, yellow lorry, or Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Struggling? That's the point. These twists and turns train your muscles for the perfect accent. Day 4. Conversations with confidence. This is where things get exciting. By now, you've learned to listen, mimic, and pronounce. But what's the use of all that practice if you're too nervous to speak? Today's challenge, start talking. Here's a playful exercise. Have a conversation with yourself. Pick a topic, like your favorite movie, and pretend you're giving a review. Say, I absolutely loved it. The characters were amazing. Don't just say the words. Add enthusiasm. If you're feeling bold, talk to someone who speaks American English. Don't worry about making mistakes. In fact, make them on purpose. Why? Because mistakes are the fastest way to learn. Funny twist? Imagine you're a game show host. Ask questions like, what's your favorite color? With dramatic hand movements and a big smile. Not only will this boost your confidence, but it'll also make your accent more natural. Day 5, the grand finale. Here's where the suspense builds. What's the final step to mastering an American English accent in 5 days? Drum roll, please. It's consistency. Yes, the key isn't just learning techniques, but practicing them daily. Spend this day reviewing everything you've learned. Listen to your favorite clips, practice tongue twisters, and record yourself. But here's the twist. Celebrate your progress. Treat yourself to something special. Maybe a milkshake or ice cream, and toast to your achievement. Now here's the biggest twist of all. Your journey doesn't end here. Improving your accent is like learning to dance. The more you practice, the better you get. And remember, the goal isn't to sound perfect. It's to sound authentic. Moral of the article. Improving your American English accent isn't about perfection. It's about persistence, confidence, and fun. Mistakes? They're your best teachers. Laughter, your secret weapon. And the real twist? You've already got what it takes to succeed. So go ahead, speak, laugh, and embrace the journey. Because in 5 days, you won't just have an accent, you'll have a story worth sharing. Cambridge English Proficiency Tips. Unlocking success with a twist. Have you ever found yourself staring at a blank notebook, pen in hand, wondering, how will I ever master English? The very thought can feel overwhelming, can't it? You're not alone. Every day, students around the world, especially those preparing for Cambridge English exams, face the same daunting challenge. But what if I told you that mastering English isn't just about hard work? What if the key to success was hidden in plain sight, waiting to surprise you? This video is not about boring grammar drills or memorizing endless vocabulary lists. No, it's about real tips, relatable experiences, and a secret twist at the end that will change how you see English forever. So buckle up! Let's dive into a world of discovery, laughter, and yes, a little romance. The start of the journey. Imagine this. You're preparing for your Cambridge English exam. The date is set, your books are scattered across your desk, and a clock ticks loudly in the background. It's stressful, isn't it? But here's a secret. Stress won't help you learn English. Instead, you need a smart approach. The first step, stop focusing on perfection. No one speaks or writes perfectly all the time, not even native speakers. Your goal should be to communicate effectively, not flawlessly. 1. Start small, think big. Ever noticed how young kids learn English? They start with simple words like hello and thank you. You can do the same. Begin by mastering basic sentences. Practice introducing yourself. Hi, my name is John, and I love learning English. Move on to short conversations. For example, A, how are you today? B, I'm fine, thank you. And you? Once you're comfortable, aim for more complex topics. Trust me, small steps build confidence, and confidence is everything. 2, listen, like a teacher. Have you ever overheard a conversation and thought, what does that word mean? Use that curiosity to your advantage. Watch movies or TV shows in English with subtitles. Pay attention to the tone, expressions, and phrases. Listen to English podcasts or songs. Repeat after them, mimicking their pronunciation. Every word you hear is a clue that brings you closer to fluency. The twists and turns of practice. Here's where it gets interesting. Most people think learning English is all about reading textbooks, right? Wrong! Life throws curveballs, and your learning process should too. 3, write your story. Pick up a notebook and write about your day. Don't worry about mistakes. Write how you feel, what you saw, or what made you laugh. For example, today I tried speaking English to my friend. She laughed, but I didn't mind. I felt brave. It doesn't need to be perfect. What matters is that you're practicing. 4, speak without fear. This is where most learners struggle. Fear of making mistakes holds them back. But here's the thing. Mistakes are proof that you're trying. Find a language buddy or join online communities. Start by saying simple phrases like, can you help me with this word? Gradually, you'll build the courage to hold full conversations. And remember, every great speaker was once a beginner too. The funny side of learning. Let's face it, learning English can lead to hilarious moments. Like the time someone said, I am going to the park, but pronounced it as perk. We all make funny mistakes. Laugh at them, learn from them, and move on. Laughter lightens the load. So, whenever you feel frustrated, take a break and watch a funny English video. Trust me, humor works wonders for your brain. The romance of English. Now, here's where things get romantic. Not in the traditional sense, but in how English can open doors to beautiful connections. Imagine meeting someone from another country. You don't speak their language, and they don't speak yours. But English becomes your bridge. It's a language of love, understanding, and shared dreams. Every word you learn is like a new string in the melody of your life. So, fall in love with English. Let it inspire you to explore new worlds and make lifelong friends. The ultimate tip: think in English. This is the secret sauce. Stop translating in your head. Start thinking in English. For example, when you see an apple, don't think of it in your native language first. Just think apple. This small shift will make you more fluent over time. Practice with everyday objects: table, chair, window, sky, rain. Form sentences in your head. The sky looks beautiful today. The suspenseful truth. What's the real key? You followed the tips, practice daily, and still feel unsure? Let me reveal the twist. The real key to mastering Cambridge English proficiency isn't in books or apps. It's in your mindset. Yes, your mindset. Ask yourself, do I believe I can learn English? Am I willing to embrace mistakes? Will I make time to practice daily? If your answer is yes, you're already ahead of the game. Why? Because the most fluent English speakers are the ones who never gave up. The funny, twisty ending. Let me share a funny story. A student once prepared for a Cambridge English exam by speaking to her pet parrot every day. The parrot learned English faster than she did. But guess what? Both of them passed with flying colors. The moral: it doesn't matter how you practice, as long as you do it consistently and have fun along the way. Final words of wisdom. Learning English is like planting a tree. At first, it's just a seed. But with care, patience, and dedication, it grows into something magnificent. So water your English skills daily, watch them flourish. And when you walk into that Cambridge exam room, remember, you've got this. Now go out there and show the world your English proficiency. The suspense is over, the twist is revealed, and the stage is yours.
English phrasal verbs, 100 common phrasal verbs. Hello, my lovely students. Do you know what's exciting? Learning English. But hold on. Before you start nodding off, let me tell you something. Today we're going to learn about something that's everywhere in English conversations. Something you hear in speech, and maybe even in your own school. Can you guess what it is? It's phrasal verbs. Wait, don't click away just yet. I know they might sound boring or confusing at first, but trust me, by the end of this lecture, you'll not only understand phrasal verbs, but you'll also master them. And it's going to be a whole lot of fun. But first, let's take a step back for a second. What if I told you that some of these phrasal verbs can make your conversations more exciting than a regular sentence? Can you imagine using them so naturally that people around you would say, "Wow, you speak like a native speaker"? That's the power of phrasal verbs. And guess what? This is going to be an hour full of twists and turns where you'll learn some of the most common phrasal verbs that are used in everyday English. It's going to be dramatic, it's going to be funny, it's going to be suspenseful. So, let's begin. Chapter 1. What exactly are phrasal verbs? Okay, students, let's start from the beginning. Phrasal verbs are, wait for it, combinations of verbs and one or more particles, which are prepositions or adverbs. For example, look at this sentence. I looked up the word in the dictionary. Here, look is the verb, and up is the particle. Simple, right? But hold on. Here's the twist. Phrasal verbs don't always mean exactly what the individual words mean. Sometimes they can mean something completely different. How mysterious, right? For example, if I say, I looked up to my teacher, that means I admire my teacher. But if I say, I looked up at the sky, it just means I'm staring at the sky. See how a simple change can make a sentence mean something totally new? Spooky, right? You're learning to unlock the secret powers of language. Chapter 2. Why are phrasal verbs so important? Now I know what you're thinking. Do I really need to learn these phrasal verbs? Why can't I just say regular words? Good question, but guess what? You do need them. Phrasal verbs are essential if you want to sound like a native speaker. They are used in almost every conversation, every movie, every book, and every social media post. So by learning them, you'll feel more confident when speaking or writing in English. And hey, you'll sound cool too. Imagine impressing your friends with all the phrasal verbs, you know. Amazing, right? Let's break it down further with some examples. I'll pick up the book. She woke up early this morning. He's going to show up late to the party. What do you notice? It's all about daily activities. Phrasal verbs are like the secret codes we use every day. Are you starting to see why they are so important? Stick with me. We'll dive deeper into this as we go along. Chapter 3. Let's start with 20 common phrasal verbs. Are you ready to learn some phrasal verbs? Here's a list of 20 of the most common ones. But wait. Before we start, remember, there's a twist here. Some of these phrasal verbs might sound like something different from what you expect. 1. Breakdown. If something breaks down, it stops working. My car broke down on the way to school today. 2. Bring up. To mention or raise a topic. She brought up the topic of school during lunch. 3. Call off. To cancel. The teacher had to call off the class because of the storm. 4. Check in. To arrive at a place or to communicate that you've arrived. I checked in at the airport 2 hours before my flight. 5. Come over. To visit. Why don't you come over and we can play video games? 6. Fill out. To complete, usually a form. Please fill out this form before the meeting. 7. Get along. To have a good relationship with someone. I get along very well with my new neighbors. 8. Give up. To stop trying. Don't give up on your dreams. You can do it. 9. Go on. To continue. Please go on with your story. 10. Hang out. To spend time together casually. Let's hang out this weekend. 11th. Look after. To take care of someone or something. Can you look after my dog while I'm away? 12. Look forward to eagerly anticipate something. I look forward to the weekend. 13. Make up. To invent a story or to forgive someone. She made up a funny story to make us laugh. 14. Pick up. To collect or lift something. I picked up my brother from school today. 15. Put off. To delay. I put off doing my homework until later. 16. Run into. To meet by chance. I ran into my old friend at the mall yesterday. 17. Set up. To arrange or establish something. I set up my new computer this morning. 18. Show up. To arrive. He didn't show up for the meeting. 19th. Turn down. To reject or refuse. She turned down the invitation to the party. 20. Turn up. To appear or arrive unexpectedly. I was late, but I turned up just in time for the meeting. Chapter 4. Let's talk about the twist. Now, students, you may have noticed something interesting here. Some of these phrasal verbs have more than one meaning. Oh no, a twist. This is where the suspense begins. Let's go deeper into this mysterious world of phrasal verbs. For example, the verb turn up can mean to arrive unexpectedly, but it can also mean to increase the volume. Yes, you read that right. Turn up the music. Sounds a little different from he turned up late to the party. See how tricky this can get? You thought it was simple, didn't you? Well, buckle up, because as we go through more phrasal verbs, you'll discover more twists and turns. Chapter 5. The Power of Phrasal Verbs. Why they'll make you sound like a pro. Here's where it gets fun. By using phrasal verbs, you can easily sound like a native English speaker. Want to sound cooler and more natural when you speak? Learn phrasal verbs. They're not just used in casual talk, they're everywhere, from the classroom to the office, from the street to the movies. If you want to fit in and understand real English conversations, phrasal verbs are your golden ticket. Take this example. I'm really looking forward to the weekend versus I'm really anticipating the weekend. Which one sounds more natural? That's right, the first one. So by learning phrasal verbs, you're making your English more relaxed, fun, and real. Chapter 6. The conclusion, unveiling the suspense. All right, my dear students, it's time to wrap up our phrasal verb adventure. But hold on. Before I say goodbye, remember the twist? How phrasal verbs can sometimes mean more than one thing. Well, here's the real twist of the day. Even though phrasal verbs seem mysterious and tricky at first, guess what? They're not that hard to learn. Yes, they might be tricky at times, but just like a great mystery story, once you understand the rules, you'll unlock the full power of these expressions. How amazing is that? You'll be using them like a pro in no time. And here's the final piece of advice from me. Don't give up. Keep practicing. And soon, you'll sound like a real English pro. I believe in you, and I can't wait to see all the phrasal verbs you use in your next conversation. End of the lecture. The suspense is over. There you have it, my dear students. You've completed.
The English teacher's secret. Wait, you're saying you're an English teacher? Gasped Leo wide-eyed. And also an English learner? Shh, keep it down, chuckled Ms. Scarlett, eyes darting around as if sharing a forbidden secret. Yes, I teach, but I learn too. Leo couldn't believe it. But how? I thought you already knew everything. She laughed, her eyes sparkling with mystery. Oh, Leo. Learning never stops. And guess what? I learn through stories, she whispered, leaning in closer. Stories? Leo's eyebrows shot up. Like kid stories? Scarlett grinned. Absolutely. Level 0 and 1. Easy, fun, and they help me get better. But why stories? Leo pressed, his voice lowering, leaning in closer. Scarlett smiled mysteriously. Because stories have secrets, she whispered, almost as if letting him in on a magical truth. Secrets? Leo asked, excitement bubbling in his voice. Yes. Stories help with accents, practice, everything. You'll see. Meet me tomorrow. She winked. Leo nodded, grinning, his mind racing with ideas. The next day couldn't come fast enough. What other secrets could his teacher be hiding? The English teacher's secret. Leo's mind spun with curiosity all night. The idea of his teacher, Ms. Scarlett, learning English through kids' stories, his stories, was almost unbelievable. The next day, he practically flew to school. As he entered Ms. Scarlett's classroom, she was already there, organizing her desk with that same knowing smile. Ah, Leo, right on time, she greeted him with a wink. Ms. Scarlett, Leo exclaimed, his voice lowered to a whisper as if they were in on a grand secret. So,
You really learn English by reading those simple stories? Aren't they too easy for you? Miss Scarlet laughed, a musical sound that made her eyes sparkle. That's the fun part, Leo. Learning English isn't about reading hard things. It's about connecting with the language in the simplest way. Like a conversation. Leo's eyes lit up. But what about accents? I heard you need to practice really hard to sound natural. Ms. Scarlet nodded seriously. True. That's why I use something called a graded reader. Ever heard of it? Leo scratched his head. Graded reader? Is it some kind of textbook? Ms. Scarlet shook her head, a mischievous glint in her eye. No, it's a book made just for learners. It's filled with short stories at different levels. That way, you only learn words and phrases you can actually use. Leo tilted his head, looking thoughtful. So, like stories for kids? Level 0, maybe 1? Ms. Scarlet beamed. Exactly. Even as a teacher, these stories help me practice fluency, expressions, and my accent. I bet you'd love them. Suddenly, Ms. Scarlet leaned in, her voice dropping to a whisper. Do you want to try one? Leo's heart jumped with excitement. Really? Yes, please. Miss Scarlet pulled out a small, colorful book. This story is called The Great Escape. It's funny, thrilling, and just a little romantic. Leo's eyes grew wide. A romance? In a kid's story? Miss Scarlet laughed, giving him a playful nudge. Oh, you'd be surprised what these stories can teach. Let's read together. They settled in, Miss Scarlet's voice shifting to bring each character to life. The story began with Mia, a brave young girl who secretly loved exploring haunted castles. One rainy day, she and her friend Sam decided to explore an old castle rumored to be full of secrets. Mia peeked around the corner, her heart pounding like a drum, Miss Scarlet read, her voice dramatic and full of suspense. Leo was hooked, already hanging on every word. Mia turned to Sam and whispered, Do you think anyone's watching us? Leo gasped, gripping the edge of his chair. Oh no! This is awesome! What happens next? Miss Scarlet continued, her voice dropping to a thrilling whisper. They crept deeper into the castle, each step echoing, until suddenly they heard a loud bang. Leo jumped, looking around as if he too were in the castle. Who made that sound? Ms. Scarlet grinned. That's the mystery, Leo. And as Mia and Sam reached the top of the castle stairs, they found a strange door with a flickering candle inside. Don't stop now, Leo begged, completely drawn in. Ms. Scarlet paused dramatically, her finger on her lips. I can't give everything away, Leo. That's the beauty of suspense. It's what makes stories magical. Leo sighed, a smile playing on his lips. You're right. Suspense makes everything better. But Miss Scarlet, why did you say learning stories was your secret? Miss Scarlet leaned in, her eyes sparkling with the thrill of what she was about to reveal. You see, Leo, everyone thinks English teachers know everything. But even teachers have things to learn. And when I read, I'm reminded that learning is a journey. It's why I love what I do. Leo's smile grew. So, it's okay to not know everything? Ms. Scarlet nodded. Absolutely. Every mistake, every funny sentence, every twist. It's all part of becoming better. He grinned, feeling a strange new sense of excitement. Then I'm going to read more stories. I want to learn, just like you. Ms. Scarlet patted his shoulder. And remember, Leo, the fun part is never knowing what'll happen next. Like in stories, and in life. Let the mystery pull you forward. They both sat in silence for a moment, smiles on their faces, imagining a world filled with endless stories, secret doorways, and adventures waiting to unfold. And from that day, Leo saw English in a whole new way, thanks to his teacher's secret that learning was about discovering, not knowing everything. Leo left class that day with a head full of ideas and an eagerness he hadn't felt before. As he walked home, he imagined Mia and Sam's adventure, wondering what was behind that strange door at the top of the castle stairs. Could it be a hidden treasure? Or maybe a ghost? His imagination was running wild. He could hardly wait for the next day to ask Ms. Scarlet for more stories. When he got home, he decided he couldn't just wait. He grabbed a notebook, titled it Leo's English Adventure Journal, and wrote down everything he remembered from the Great Escape. He even started making up his own endings. What if Mia and Sam find an ancient book inside the castle? He muttered, scribbling down notes. Or maybe they find out that the castle was once a school for young adventurers. Suddenly, Leo's mom peeked in. What's got you so excited? Leo looked up, beaming. Miss Scarlet showed me a story today, Mom, and it was amazing. She's an English teacher, but she's also learning English, just like me. His mom raised an eyebrow, surprised. Really? I thought teachers already knew everything. That's what I thought too, Leo replied, laughing. But Miss Scarlet said learning is like a journey, and she loves using stories to practice, even if they're simple. His mom smiled, pulling up a chair. Sounds like you've found a wonderful teacher, Leo. So what's next? Leo's eyes lit up. Tomorrow, I'm going to ask her for more stories. I want to read all kinds of English stories, even if they're short ones. Ms. Scarlet said even the simplest stories can help with speaking, practicing accents, and understanding English better. He paused, feeling like he was letting his mom in on a big secret. Plus, she said stories have secrets, like hidden meanings. Isn't that cool? His mom grinned. Very cool, Leo. And who knows, maybe one day you'll write your own stories to share with others. The next day, Leo was ready for more. He marched into Miss Scarlet's class, clutching his English adventure journal, and gave her a mischievous grin. Miss Scarlet, I've been thinking about the story all night. I even wrote down my own ideas. Miss Scarlet's face lit up as she took the journal and flipped through it. Leo, this is amazing. Look at all these ideas. You're becoming a true English storyteller. Leo blushed, feeling proud. Do you think we could read another story today? Ms. Scarlet gave him a thoughtful look. How about this, Leo? Why don't you and I read a story together after school? I'll bring a funny one this time, with a little romance and some mysterious twists. What do you say? Leo nodded eagerly, his excitement barely contained. Yes, please. That afternoon, they sat down together with a story called The Secret Garden Surprise. It was about two friends, Sarah and Jake, who stumble upon a hidden garden rumored to be filled with magical plants. But as they explore, strange things start happening, like the flowers whispering secrets and the trees rustling mysteriously, as if they're hiding something. Ms. Scarlet read with enthusiasm, her voice rising and falling to match each moment in the story. Leo listened with wide eyes, his imagination running wild. And just as Sarah reached out to touch a strange glowing flower, she heard a voice behind her say, "I wouldn't do that if I were you." Miss Scarlet read, her voice trailing off in suspense. Leo held his breath. What happens next? Miss Scarlet laughed, closing the book. That's for you to find out in the next chapter. Maybe tomorrow? Leo let out a dramatic sigh, but grinned. All right, but you're keeping me in suspense. Miss Scarlet smiled warmly. That's the magic of stories, Leo. And remember, the fun of learning English is enjoying every twist and turn along the way. You never know what surprises it'll bring. Just like in these stories. As he left, Leo realized that his teacher had given him more than just stories. She had shown him the thrill of learning and the joy of discovery. English wasn't just about rules and words anymore. It was about imagination, secrets, and adventures waiting to unfold. And as he walked home, he knew that the next story, the next mystery, and the next big secret were just around the corner, waiting to be uncovered, one word at a time.